Namaste, welcome. We're going to do a little bit of yoga practice together this morning. It's Jackie. I'm happy to be with you again. So take a moment to get what you need for setting yourself up, maybe a yoga mat. You can place that out on the floor. Maybe you'd like to have a blanket to pad your knees or your neck. Yoga blocks can be helpful. So just get what you have, get yourself set up, take a moment to close the door of the room that you're in, get settled, turn off your devices so you can have a little bit of time, maybe 30, 40 minutes to do some self-care, such an important tool. So my teacher says, I used to say that it was a really good thing to do some yoga practice, to do these slow, mindful practices. And now we say it's imperative that we do these practices. So please take some time for yourself. So today we're going to start lying down on our back. And so take a moment to get yourself set up, lie down. And when you're lying on your back, I'd like you to have some space so that you have enough room to stretch your arms over your head behind you. And you can take a few reaching breaths once you get settled, maybe reaching and spreading the fingers, stretching the sides of the body, noticing your shoulders. You can bring your arms down and for a moment have your knees bent, feet on the floor, and wrap your hands around your shoulders here and do a little welcoming hug as you come to your practice. Pat yourself on the back and acknowledge yourself for taking this little bit of time to care for your body. Nurturing practice, our yoga. And then bring your hands down by your sides. You can keep your knees bent for a moment. And we're going to begin with some arm movements. And mainly I'd like you to think about coordinating your movement with your breathing. So as you inhale, begin to lift your arms up over your head to the floor behind you. And noticing how that feels for your shoulders today. Exhale, bring your hands down, pull your belly in. You're going to breathe in and out through the nose. So slow inhale, just as slow as you're comfortable breathing. Slow exhale, lower your arms down, pull your belly in. Now, if that's not great for your shoulders, a variation would be to bend your elbows and then extend them up over your head. And then bend your elbows and bring them down. So if you're dealing with a shoulder injury or your shoulders are a little compromised, this is a good option. It uses some different muscles. So one or two more, either way, arms nice and long, or you can bend the elbows on the way up and down. So the next time your hands are down by your sides, pause. And we're going to stretch the legs out flat on the floor. You can push through the heels and spread the toes, so you're flexing your feet. We're going to move the arms in a similar way and start to wake up our legs a little bit too. So keeping your legs firm, your feet flexed, inhale both arms up over your head. And as you exhale and bring both arms down, draw the right knee into your chest and give it a little hug with your hands. And as you inhale, let that leg stretch out and the arms float back up over your head. Maybe your hands touch the floor as your foot touches. And then exhale, do your left knee, give it a hug. And then smoothly stretching out. And again, see if maybe your foot can touch the floor as your hands touch the floor behind you. If they do touch. One more to each side. Exhale, a little hug of that right knee, a little opening in the right hip. Inhale, open. Exhale, left knee draws in. Slow inhale as you reach everything back out. Now we're going to go back to the right side and do some different movements. So exhale, draw the right knee into your chest. On the in-breath, we're going to let that bent right knee open out to the right side and maybe even turn your head gently to the other side. And on the exhale, draw that knee back to the midline, lift your head back to the center. Do that again. Inhale, open your knee out to the side. And then exhale, head to the center as you draw the knee in. Now inhale in place, and on the exhale, we're going to draw that knee across the midline to the other side. Little baby twist, turn your head the other way. And then inhale back to the center with your knee and your head. Little baby twist, and try not to pull with your arm. Just, you might touch your left hand to your leg, but don't pull. So head right, knee left. Inhale back to the center. Now, leveling out your hips, inhale, extend that leg toward the ceiling. You can also push through the other heel at the same time. Bend the knee again, exhale. Do that again. Inhale, extend the leg. And then exhale, bend that knee, give it a little hug with your hands. And when you inhale, lower the right leg back down, lift your arms up over your head. And we'll do that sequence on the left side. So exhale, left knee to your chest. You can keep the right leg firm. So inhale, let the left knee open out to the left side and turn your head to the right. And as you exhale, let your head come back to the center as your knee comes right up over your hip again. And do that again. Inhale, the leg goes out, the head turns opposite way. Pull your belly in as you exhale back to the center. And now take an inhale here, and on the exhale, we're going to twist gently so that left knee's going to go across the midline, the head turns left, and then inhale back to the center. Start with a small twist or just waking up our body. Exhale here, turn your head the other way. Inhale back to the center, and then hold on the exhale, and when you get to your inhale, let that left leg go toward the ceiling. As you exhale, bend the knee. Do that one more time. Inhale, keep firming the right leg too. Now exhale, bend the knee, use your hands to give it a little hug. And then inhale, stretch your arms up over your head as you lower that leg back down. And then exhale your arms down and gently bend your knees one at a time. So when we pick up the legs at the same time, there can be a little bit of stress on the low back. So especially if you're caring for a low back issue or SI joint issues, picking up your feet one at a time or putting them down one at a time will be really stabilizing for your back. So with that in mind, pick your feet up one at a time, draw your knees to your chest. And we're going to inhale and extend both legs toward the ceiling and spread your toes. And on the exhale, bend both knees. So we're trying to let the heels stack up right over the hips. So we're not trying to bring the toes up to your forehead. Exhale, bend. Now this one, let's lift both arms and both legs. So inhale, both legs, both arms. Exhale, bend your knees as you smoothly lower the arms. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale. So mainly thinking about coordinating with your breath. We're going to hold that this time. We're going to inhale everything up. And hold on the exhale, a little bend in the elbows. And some of you might interlace your fingers up over your head. And when you inhale, you can lengthen the legs and push the palms of the hands away. If that's not great for your shoulders, don't clasp your fingers. Exhale, soften your knees, soften your elbows, pull your belly in. And when you're ready to inhale, lengthen everything again. You can spread the toes. One more time. Exhale. Belly draws in here. And inhale. Now exhale, release your arms down by your sides, bend your knees, and put your feet on the floor one at a time. And let your feet move out to the edges of your mat. We're just going to let the knees rock side to side. So again, depending on your hips and your low back, you may keep the movement kind of small, trying to keep your hips on the floor. You might let the movement get bigger if you feel comfortable with that. So the first rule in yoga is do no harm. So there's a Sanskrit word ahimsa, and it means non-harming. So that's our first thing about taking care of our body. We're not doing any harm. So the next time your knees come to the center, pause and carefully roll to your side. Use your hands to push yourself up, and we're going to come to hands and knees for the next part. So if you'd like to use your blanket or something to pad your knees, please feel free to get what you need. We're going to come into the tabletop position here. So we're going to let the joints line up. So the shoulders are right over your wrists, the hips are right over your knees. And then thinking about your breath here on the inhale, lift your chest. Let your elbows soften a little bit as you lift your chest. As you exhale, start to pull the navel in. We're going to round back to child's pose, letting the elbows touch, your hips sink back, and your head bow down. You could even tuck the chin. And then glide back up on your inhale to tabletop. Again, navel draws in first, so the low back starts to round. As you fold back, let your elbows touch, let your hips sink back, let your head bow, and then glide back up on your inhale. So this time we're going to add some movement with the opposite arm and leg. So exhale back as we've been doing. And when you rise on the inhale, please take your right leg back behind you and your left arm forward, looking down at the floor. And then slowly come down. Maybe your hand and your knee touch right at the same time. And you fold back the whole exhale to get back. And as your inhale begins, begin to lift and lengthen right arm forward, left arm back. And then with as much control as possible, coming right back down, folding back. So we'll do that each side one more time. So right leg, left arm, inhale. Smoothly down and back, exhale. How slowly can you move as you do this? So left leg, right arm. So go with your breath. You might be going a little slower than me. You might be going a little faster. So this time come up, right leg, left arm. And on the exhale, firm your belly. We're going to lower the toes to the floor and the fingertips to the floor. Feel that slight rounding in your low back. And then as you inhale, pick them up, lengthen them away from each other. Just keep your eyes down on the floor. Exhale. Touch your toes down, touch your fingers down. Inhale. Let's do that one more time. Exhale. How slow can you go? Inhale, lengthening and lifting. And then please lower everything down, fold your hips back. Maybe a moment to give that right wrist a little break. Come up one time to tabletop. Round back as you exhale. Remember, pulling in the belly, softening the elbows to the floor. And now as you lift, left leg, right arm. Now exhale, let your left toes come down, let your right fingers touch down, rounding, pulling in the belly, and then inhale, lengthen everything back out. So there's just a slight movement in the lumbar spine, the low back. Navel draws in, fingers and toes touch. Inhale, they lift, and going as slowly as you can. Do one more repetition. Exhale. Inhale. And then this time, lower your hand and your knee down, fold back. Give your left wrist a little break. And then stay back in child's pose. And you might find it nice to widen your knees, to put support under your forehead, like your hands. This would be a good place to use a yoga block. Rocking if you like. Notice your breath. You might notice your heart rate went up a little bit from that movement. And then please push up to your hands. And we're going to stand up on our knees for just a little bit. So we're going to take the inhale, and I'd like you to sweep your arms out to the side and up over your head. And if it's comfortable, lift your eyes, feel that opening in the front of the body. And on the exhale, as the arms sweep down, we're going to bring the hands all the way behind the back, and we're going to fold all the way back down to child's pose. Now, you want to be able to get back up, so maybe you don't go down very far. Maybe your forehead touches the floor. And lift your chest, come up with your arms sweeping back out to the side, lift your chest and eyes. And we want to go up and down with as much control as possible. So go down slowly, pull the belly in, and then slowly reach back up as the arms come out to the side. Lift your chest, lift your eyes. Do that 2 more times. Exhale. And again, if you're not getting up with ease, don't go down so far. Inhale back up. We want to recruit those back muscles to lift us back up. One more time. Exhale. Belly draws in here. And then lifting, reaching up. When you exhale this time, just lower your arms down. Take a moment to do some shoulder rolls. Maybe turn your head a little bit side to side. Even let the shoulders, the upper body get a little twist. Okay, and then we're going to take the hands and back down onto the mat. And we're going to do 2 movements.
named after our cats and dogs. And then we're going to put them all together in a little sequence. So the first one is downward facing dog. So place your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes under, push your hips up and back. Now feel the pressing of your hands into the floor so that you feel the spine lengthen and your hips lift. And then you can pedal out your legs a bit. So it's not so important to get the heels to the floor here. And you can walk your feet in a little closer, walk your feet back a little further, whatever you like. Now for a few breaths, we're going to go up and down between the tabletop position and our dog pose. So again, slowly with control, inhale your knees to the floor, lift your chest and your eyes, and soften your elbows a little bit. On your exhale, pull the navel in and slowly push yourself back up. We're going to do that one more time. So inhale to your knees, lift your chest and eyes, a little bend in the elbows, and then slowly push back up. Now inhale down to your knees, and we'll do the second movement named after our cats and dogs. So exhale your hips back to child's pose, and as you sink back, walk your hands further forward and a little wider. On the inhale, we're going to come up to all fours and shift forward till the shoulders are over the wrist and let your hips come forward. So you want a little bend in the elbows and you want to hold back a little bit. So don't just hang. Now exhale, pull your belly in, come all the way back to child's pose. We'll do that a couple of times. So inhale. So you want to maintain some muscular engagement, especially in your belly. So you're not actually going to your full range of movement. Just hold back a little bit and a little bit of softness in the elbows. Exhale back. Do that one more time. You can watch your pets and see how many times a day they do these things. Just do it with them. Now exhale all the way back. And when you come up this time, just come to tabletop and we'll do a sequence where we're going to combine child's pose with the downward facing dog movement and the upward facing dog. So let's start with the hands under the shoulders. Inhale, lift the chest. Pull your navel in as you round back to child's pose. Elbows touch. Maybe your forehead touches. Inhale, rise up to tabletop. Lift your chest, tuck your toes under. And exhale, slow trip to downward facing dog. When you inhale, slowly lower back down to tabletop. Lift your chest and eyes. Exhale, round back and walk your hands forward as you go back to child's pose. And then inhale, slow trip forward to upward dog. Soften the elbows, lift the chest, and firm the belly so you're holding back just a hair. Pull your belly in as you go back all the way to child's pose. And when you rise up to tabletop on the inhale, slide your hands back underneath your shoulders and then tuck your toes. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to tabletop. Lift your chest and eyes. Exhale back. Go as slowly as you can. Move your hands forward as you prepare for upward dog. Come on up. Inhale. No rushing at all. Little bend in the elbows. Little lift of the eyes. Exhale back. We'll do one more sequence. So inhale as you come up to tabletop. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Exhale, slow trip to downward dog. Inhale to your knees. Lift your chest and eyes. Exhale back. You can untuck the toes and walk your hands forward. Inhale slowly forward, upward dog. Exhale all the way back to child's pose. And stay. And you can stay in child's pose. And that might be a really good thing to do right now. If you are a huge fan of downward dog and you need a little more of that, go ahead and come up to all fours, push up to downward dog, and hold that for a few breaths. Either way, you can rock and sway. Just get a sense of how you feel after those movements we've done so far. Please come to tabletop. So if you're in downward dog, you can inhale down. If you're in child's pose, you can inhale up. We're going to come back up to stand on our knees, and we're going to do a couple of movements in a low lunge. So patting the knees may be very helpful here. And if you cannot do things on your knees, you can do this in standing, like in the warrior one position. So we're going to step the right foot forward, and we're going to just shift the hips forward here. And again, like in our upward dog, we're going to come forward, and we're kind of holding back a little bit. So use your belly and make sure your knee is pretty much over your heel. As you exhale back, use your belly to pull you back. And do that again. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And again, you want to hold back a little bit. Now we're going to move the back leg arm, the left arm. So as you inhale forward this time, shift your hips forward, lift the left arm up. Maybe you look right forward, maybe you look up. And on the exhale, pull your belly in as you go back. See how smoothly you can do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale back. And then we're going to come into that low lunge and hold it. So you may rest your right hand on your leg. You may put it on your low back. As you inhale forward, lift your left arm. Don't go all the way. You could still go further. You want to hold back a little bit. Now exhale, bring your left hand to the back of your head. And on your inhale, I want you to push your head into your hand as you resist that pushing with your hand. You feel the back of your neck lengthen. Exhale, stay and pull your belly in. And do that again. Inhale, push your head into your hand into your head. You might feel this all the way down into the front of your left hip. And then exhale, bring your arm down, come back out of the lunge and walk that foot back. Come to all fours. So we're going to inhale, chest lifts, exhale, child's pose, and we're going to do upward dog twice before we do the other side. So inhale, come forward, upward dog. Exhale back, and you may just sense any difference you feel between the two sides after we did that on one side. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale up to your hands and knees, and we're going to step the other foot forward. So left foot forward. You just want that knee to track right in front of your hip, and a little test bend so that when you come forward into your lunge, your knee is pretty much over your heel. So you don't want it to look like that, your knee over your toes. It's much more stable the other way. And we're going to pull the belly in on the exhale as you draw back. And then the movement's going to be with the right arm this time. So inhale, hip shift forward, right arm lengthens up. Maybe you look up, maybe you look right forward at the horizon. Pull your belly in as you exhale back. And we're going to do that again. See how slow you can go. Inhale. Exhale. And again, you want to hold back a little bit. Don't move to the edge of your range of movement. So this time we're going to hold, inhale forward. Maybe your left hand comes to your low back. Exhale, bend that elbow, put your hand on the back of your head. And inhale, as you lengthen, push your head into your hand into your head. And pull your belly in as you exhale. Do that again. Inhale, lift your chest, hand and head resisting against each other. Exhale, one more inhale. And then you can exhale, come back, lower your arms, and come back to your hands and knees once again. Come to all fours, inhale. Exhale, back to child's pose. Move your hands forward, and we're going to come to upward dog, and we're going to just do one of them this time. So let the elbows be soft, and if you like, you might stay here for a moment and ever so carefully let your hips sway. Remember ahimsa, no pain. No pain, no pain, no pain. Exhale back to child's pose. And then please come to lie on your back. So move things around, come back to lie on the floor. And once you get onto your back, it'll probably feel nice to bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little massage on your low back so you can hold on to your legs. You might sway side to side. You might circle your knees around. Whatever feels good, like you're giving yourself a massage.
You could circle your ankles or shake your hands a little bit. Just shake things off a little bit. Shaking is so good for us. So many good shaking things. And then place your feet back down on the floor. Remember, we did that one at a time. And then bring your feet out to the edges of your mat. And if you're a tall person, if you have particularly long legs, you might even have your feet wider. We're going to do some windshield wipers here, and this movement is generally more pleasant if you have your feet pretty wide. You can just stretch your arms out. You can have your hands on your belly, whichever you like. Take an in-breath. Now exhale, let the knees go to one side and the head softly turn the other way. Inhale to the center. And then exhale, other side. You might even close your eyes, go nice and slow. It's quite a simple movement, so nice and slow. Inhale. And again, if you're feeling anything discomfort in your hips or your low back, stay with a small movement. This is a great time to really focus on your breath. And as we begin to settle toward the end of our practice, you might think about letting your exhales get longer, or just focus a little more on your exhales. If you like, the next time you go to one side, you can stay for a breath. It's okay if you keep moving. So if you stay on the exhale, hold on the in-breath. Maybe a sigh on your exhale. And then let your inhale bring you back up. Again, slow head turns to the center. Exhale to the other side. If you like, you can stay on the inhale. And then and inhale back up. Take a moment to walk your feet in, and we're going to try to even up the spine by drawing the knees toward the chest and place your hands on your kneecaps. This is another nice movement to think about the breath and longer exhales. So take an inhale, let your arms extend so the knees rock away from your belly, and on your exhale, we're just going to bend the elbows so the knees draw in, and you perhaps feel some lengthening on your low back. Inhale. Pay attention to your hips. If you prefer to have your knees apart a little bit, that's okay too. Exhale. And just to focus on the exhales, we're going to do 3 more repetitions. And if you like, you can do a little hum on the exhale. So inhale here, and then you kind of go, letting your exhale be as long as you can. And do that 2 more times. So inhale. A little hum. One more inhale. Little hum. And you feel the palate vibrating. You might even feel the vibration on the back of your skull. And then carefully place your feet one at a time back down on the floor. For a moment, you can have your feet wide and your knees touching, and maybe give yourself another hug like we did at the beginning, and massage your back, pat yourself on the back. Say, good job. And then let your arms come down, finding, as we start to settle for the relaxation part, finding the resting position. So you might have your hands by your sides, palms up. You might have your hands on your belly. You might really like having the knees bent here. It really puts the low back in a neutral position, quite nice. You could put a pillow or a cushion under your legs, or put your legs up on a sofa or a chair. You're welcome, of course, to lie flat if that's comfortable for you. It's just not for many people. And then soften or close your eyes. And again, we'll take a couple of breaths with a sigh just to release any tension left in the body. Inhale. Big sigh. Feel the support of the floor. Another inhale. Another exhale. And now give yourself permission to rest your body for the next few minutes. And anything that helps you to get more comfortable, maybe you're a little chilly and you'd like to put the blanket on top of you. Get yourself situated so you can let yourself have a little time to rest. This is when all the information from the breathing, from the movements that we did, gets integrated into your body and into your mind. The shifts in our mind happen in the pauses, in these still parts. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we live with ease. May we live in peace. So I encourage you to stay for another 5 minutes here, to stay for 10 minutes, see what your body needs. If it is challenging for you to just be still, try to stay for 12 breaths. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.